So Tracy, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I don't know how many weeks. Time is flying by. I know a lot of things has happened on both sides. How have you been and what have you been up to?
I've been good. I always think of this time of year as hibernation. I think I had a lifetime as a bear. It gets cold out and dark, and we had several weeks in
Time
a
to
row
settle
where it
in.
was just raining, it's like rain, rain, rain. Every day was rain.
Yeah.
And we just had a couple of nice days in a row, and now it looks like it's going back to rain. It's like, oh. But yeah, this weather, I think it just puts me in that hibernation mode and just things slow down a little bit. But things have been going good. Got lots of things going on coming up in the coming months. There will be some adventures ahead, so that's going to be fun. I do have, speaking of adventures, I'm going to list off two of them. On December 29th of 2024, so just in case you're watching this after that, I'm going to be doing a journey with Daniel, and that journey is called Expanding into the Cosmos with Sacred Geometry, and it's a healer's journey, meaning that Daniel's going to be taking us on this extraordinary journey using sacred geometry, which Jason has behind his head there, and and bringing us into these other energies, and it's going to be activating for bringing in healing because we're all entering into a new wave of energy. We're probably going to talk about it today with Daniel, but this energy that's coming in, it's bringing us into another level. And so this is kind of activating new levels of healing and frequencies, and there's all kinds of things going on with that. It's a 1 hour journey online. It's on my website, traciemahan.com, which I think Jason will be putting in the description box. And
Yep.
then January 18th and 19th, I'm going to be doing a channeling workshop where we're going to learn the light, medium, and deep trances of channel. And then also as a bonus for that class, we're going to go into the light language and do some light language healing for each other and for ourselves and for each other, and then for humanity as well. And so that's going to be January 18th and 19th. If you guys also online, I limit that class to 12 people. So if you're interested in that class, please get signed up as soon as possible because it will get shut down once there's 12 people. I do close that just because I want it to be a small enough group that we can all have
You want
time
it
to
to be more
interact.
personable. Like,
It is. I have this whole thing that we do, and
mhm.
if there's too many people, not everybody would be able to participate in it. And so that
Yeah.
seems to be the right number to get everybody a chance to do the exercise without it becoming this thing where we get squirmy in our chairs. So that's my number. And then when I'm there, it's lucky number 13, right? So we got great things going on with that. But I've done this class a couple of times now online with the people that show up for this are just phenomenal. You don't have to have any experience, or you can be a channeler and you'll still learn something. So coming in at any level, all levels, you don't have to worry about it. Everybody brings it in the same way, or brings in the channeling. It's been an amazing
Oh,
experience. So
so the people will channel too, like the guests.
yeah,
Ah.
the participants, everybody. Yeah, I'm one of those teachers that I make you do it. So I'm not just sitting there
Gotcha.
rattling things off at you. I'm going to put you to work. And we have had phenomenal success in the classes I've done so far. Everybody has been able to bring something in and have an experience with it. So I'm excited about that class. I didn't know if I could teach it online, and then I just one day I was like, I'm going to try
Yeah,
it
go
because
for
people
it.
are asking, and so I
Mhm.
put it together, and I actually love it. It's a great way. It is another great way for me to be able to connect with people all around the world and do this together, and it works really nice actually. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That
so those
that sounds exciting and pretty cool, you know?
yeah. Yeah, and it is fun. It was like the one of the groups, there was a whole group of people from Australia in it. And so it was kind of like a 50-50 United States and Australia, and we had this dynamic that was really amazing, and so it's just fun to see who shows up, who's part of that group, and I know that we can't hit everybody's time zones perfectly. And so there's those beautiful, courageous ones that will be there at 4 in the morning. It's their early morning and they're participating and bringing stuff in and message. We give each other messages. It's really a fun group that will bond the people, the ones that are in it. They come out almost like family. So it's pretty fun to do it with
Right.
everybody.
And then if they're part of that group, I'm pretty sure metaphysically in those other realms, y'all connected some sort of fashion. There's
Yeah.
more usually connections to each little group, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I think so
this
too.
doesn't happen by chance.
Yeah, and
More
and that is one of
connection.
the questions we will ask in the class is how is this particular group connected?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. In one of the classes that we did, the connection was they all came from the same ship. They were all from the same group on the ship, but they were not all from the same star collective. So they could be
Oh,
Iron Palladian, it could be a mixed bag of particular star seed groups, but they were all from the same ship.
mm,
Yeah,
interesting.
it gets really interesting in these things. We find out a lot of fun things and how everybody works together and both here on Earth and the ones that are working as our counterparts in the stars, and it's quite interesting. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds like you got some interesting events coming up. So, with that being said, if there's anything else you want to share before we move on to the exciting stuff for
I suppose I
2025?
I would probably be in trouble if I didn't mention the Iceland cruise in June.
Oh, don't get in trouble. You might
I
want to
don't want
talk.
to get in trouble. So I'm going to be with Julia Cannon and Trina Sheeran. Trina's from Ireland. Julia's the one that is the head of QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. The three of us and Julia's daughter Tiffany, we're all going to be on the cruise in Iceland. We're doing a workshop there. And so it's 10-day cruise with 3 of those days are going to be the workshop. We're going to hang out for a day on one of the what are the ports when we go to port, we're going to all do one of the events together. Meals, we're going to try and get everybody. I don't know how that all works on cruises. That's more Jason's thing. This will be my first cruise, you guys. So I don't know how the meals all
Maybe
work,
one
but
day we can
but
have
the
a video
intention
just
is to
about
hang
that.
out with you guys. Yeah. And we'll share stories and do all the things. But that's going to be June 20th through the 30th in Iceland. And that's on my website too. So just tracymahan.com is going to be the easiest link and you'll find it all there. So yeah,
Gotcha.
so good.
So
I'm
this
glad
is
you asked me because I didn't want to forget that.
yeah, so this cruise is the Norwegian Cruise Line and it's in June.
It's in June. And we're
June
going to be
30th.
on what? The Starship.
Oh,
So
that's the name of the ship?
that's the name of the ship.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's the
Nice.
star. So we're on the Starship. So yeah, I'm
That's
excited about that.
perfect.
You can't make
Perfect.
it up, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
wonder if they search for that ship or they just
no, we
happen
were
to be
actually
Starship.
Trina's been the one putting this together, so thank you, Trina. And she was looking at a different cruise on different dates and it wasn't working. There was something that was not falling into place with that, so she had to change to different dates. And when she changed to the different dates, that's when we ended up on the Starship.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So this cruise goes to Iceland?
Iceland, and there's some stops in Greenland too. I have the
Okay.
map of
All
the
right.
stops on my website.
Because I do recall for Greenland that on other metaphysical YouTube channels that Greenland has always came up quite a few times, you know.
Yeah,
And I think even one of your sessions, I think it was one of yours that there talked about a spaceship that was involved or something. So this is a
possibly.
long, yeah, I think it was
You're
a
gonna
long
remember that
time
better than me,
ago.
I'm sure.
And I think it was just a conversation about it. So, but yeah, that's one of the things that is very interesting with Greenland is that I remember on a, a few conversations, especially on the YouTube channels, that they were bringing up like spaceships, like something special is about it.
Mm.
I
Oh, that
forgot why it was so
I'll
special.
invite them to come join.
Mhm. But there was
Yeah,
something special about it. So
we'll have to do some sky watching at night out on the deck and just see what we can see. Hopefully there's not too many lights.
I will warn you, you won't see much from the boat because of the
Too many
lights
lights
of
on
the
the
boat.
boat. Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You will
Um,
not see much because I just came back from a cruise last week and I
yeah.
know that.
Like I can't
So
see
I
anything.
was in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. So you do not see stars from that boat. You see
Wow.
some things like one or two, you know what I mean? But you don't see it like I would see it like if I was going fishing. I would see it as a big dome, you know,
Mhm.
of stars, but no.
Yeah.
Not with those bright lights.
Mhm. Well, we'll sense them. We'll go out and sense them.
Yeah. Now, if you do see something, that means it was very close and very bright.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. They'll do that too. I've had experiences with them making it pretty obvious that it's a ship.
Yep.
So,
If it's Norwegian, I will leave a link below as well. And I'll put in the description if there's any promo codes, like not promo codes, but like you can get like extra chips either for the casino, play money,
see?
or you can get an onboard credit.
Yeah.
I'll leave a link below to help you guys out if you're interested. And I'll put whatever is that link for. I'll put it in the description saying this is for free play, this is for onboard credit. And usually you got to read the terms and conditions, but usually you can apply that to your account.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah, I know that we've got a special rate for the cruise itself right now. So the prices that are on my website are for the special rate that's going on right now, and that will end. And I know that Trina told me when it's going to end, and I want to say February, but don't hold me to it. But the sooner if you think you want to go, get a hold of Trina. Her information is on my website, and she's going to set
okay.
you up with everything you need to know. So
The cruise information is on your website.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
that'll be there. But if you have extras, please do post them because that I don't have over there. So I
Yeah,
could.
so the onboard credit or the casino play, the free play is a separate link. So, but it's an app. It's like a slot machine game that you play. You get VIP points and you cash in your VIP points to get these things. But we'll talk about that later
Yeah. He's
when
the
we have
cruise
our
guy.
cruise video.
No, you're the one that does the cruises. And I was like, I finally get to go on one. It's been a bucket
That's
list.
awesome. And then it's going to be your first one too. So,
Yeah. I mean, and I did get to do the cruise on the Nile with the riverboat, but this is like the first cruise ship.
all
So
right, right.
yeah.
Same thing.
I
Wink,
don't think
wink.
so. I've seen pictures of that cruise ship. I'm like, oh, yeah, the one on the Nile didn't look anything like that. So, yeah, but the riverboat one was fun too. That was nice.
Absolutely.
So,
We could talk about it when you come back.
all right. Well, if there's anything left of me, let's see.
For
Let's
sure.
see what happens. I'll go get Daniel and we'll jump into what do we want to tell everybody today and see what happens.
Well, I think we're going to have some interesting things come up since it's been a while and everything happens for a reason. So,
Yeah. And you guys, I will say this, Jason and I sit here and talk for a little bit trying to, well, what do you think would be good topics? And then I go get Daniel and sometimes we don't even touch the topics we've talked about. So it's like,
had,
but at
had
least we have
nothing
a
to do with
backup
what we talked
plan.
about.
Have a backup plan in case that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of like we bring up our personal experiences first of like, hey, this is what's going on in the world for me. And then next
Yeah,
thing you know it, curveball.
exactly.
Next thing you know it, we're talking about Lionsgate Energy or something.
Ooh, throwing that out there. Okay. We'll see what happens. I'll go get Daniel. We'll jump right in.
Perfect.
As much as we would like to jump into Lionsgate, we will leave that for another show. But
Yes.
hello, 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 and how exciting to be back here again.
Hey, Daniel. Well, Perfect timing. It is 8:08 over here where I'm at, so perfect timing.
More of that Lionsgate energy. You're desperately bringing that in. Maybe we'll have to make
Absolutely.
a
I know time is different on your side of the world or realm, but how is everything and what have you been up to and what can you share with us today?
What have I been up to? Well, they keep me busy, you know. Uh, we've been knitting sweaters over here, waiting for your podcast to invite us in again.
I know. Been busy. I'm sorry.
We are very excited to be here. Let's look and see what would be important to share with you. As you know, your world has been through some great shifts, some great changes. You are moving into new energy. Astrologically, you are moving into new energy. You can feel the new energy shifting. Your governments are changing. Your things are changing. All the things that are going on in the world right now are all in divine order. We do want to say that and to reassure you that everything is working in your highest good. And Tracie mentioned this earlier when talking to Jason. I'm on the highest timeline. I was told I was on the highest timeline. Well, we want to say that to everybody. You are on the highest timeline at this point. We've talked about timelines in the past, about how you eliminate certain timelines as you change your frequency. The ones that are no longer relevant can drop away now. And the goal was to move that into timelines where maybe you have anywhere from 3 to 5 timelines that you fluctuate from. And we'd say, those of you who are listening to us right now, maybe not all of humanity, but those of you who are listening to this podcast can rest assured that you have now navigated into these elements where you are shifting between fewer timelines. And so once you are doing that, once you are moving through fewer timelines, now what happens is you might get a little timeline blur where you are remembering something from a different timeline than the person you are talking to. So maybe they have a memory and you don't have the same memory. And it's because you jumped into a timeline that you didn't do that memory in, right? And so or it fell in differently. And so you might start to find that you are remembering two timelines at the same time and you don't know which one was real. One may feel like maybe it was a dream. Maybe I dreamed that conversation, or maybe I just had a flash of that conversation. Why do I think that was that way? And it's actually this way. And Tracie had that experience yesterday. She walked into her kitchen and she goes, "Where's the other bar stool?" And her son says, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "There's only 2 bar stools at the bar. Where's the other one?" And he said, "We've always only had 2." She remembers having 3. And so she's just like, "I'm not even playing this game with him. He won't understand it." And she moved on. But she just kind of chuckled, going, "Yeah, there was a time there was 3 of them there. Now there is only 2 bar stools." And so things like that, little things, you're going to catch it, you're going to notice it, you're going to think you might be going a little bit crazy, right? But it's a sign that you are closing in your timelines. And so it's easier to remember those differences in those timelines. And you're going to start catching that a little bit more. And it's just a way for your higher self to show you and to help you to remember or know that this is happening and this is a good thing. This is a positive thing. You're in the highest timelines and you are fluctuating back and forth. It's not such a big flux, right? It's not such a big jump anymore. And so it's easier to remember the differences because they're just right there. You're just right there. And so we just wanted to say that some of that is happening for humanity right now. And more of you are tapping into that telepathy. And we talked about that before too, that the telepathy is going to be coming in stronger. The mantis beings have been here helping humanity hone that in even better. If you want help with your psychic skills and honing them in to where you feel more in control of them, if you will, where your empathy isn't all over the place and you are able to bring that empath in closer and filter through the energy so you know what's yours, what's not yours. The mantis beings are perfect to work with to help enhance all the psychic gifts. And they're very good at helping you to work, especially with the ones that you feel you can't shut them off or hone them in. They're going to help you do that. So call them in. They're here to help. And we're just going to scan and look at what else might be good for humanity to know before we get playing into the other questions. We made a post with Tracie the other day about the vortexes, and the vortexes seem to be something that's coming in for today's transmission. So what we want to say to you is these vortices or vortexes, they're coming in, they're opening up all around you. And you have been asked to step into these energies, and you can create it right where you're at. You can pull it to you, actually. And so if you're sitting down, just close your eyes and ask to be shown which way is your vortex going. And as Jason's doing that, which direction are you going? Are you counterclockwise or clockwise? Which do you feel in your body?
Hmm. Well, when I was when you was asking me the question, I was feeling clockwise,
Mhm.
like going to flow with the clock.
Yes. We're feeling that on this side too, the clockwise. And so we say to you, you can set intentions. If you're ready to clear something out, ask for the counterclockwise vortex to help you clear this energy. But it is helping you to come into balance with your energy, these vortexes are. And so if you work with them, they're going to help you bring back in the balance. The energy the energy that holds the magic of the planet is coming back into the planet. And that's going to be one of the questions. Lemurian energy is what we're going to be speaking about today. So remind us to talk about the magic with that, Jason. And we don't want to miss that piece, but we also don't want to jump ahead and get ahead of ourselves. But the vortexes are going to help us get ready for this balance of energies so that you can pull in the magic or bring in a more, we want to use fancy words for this, but basically what we're saying is you're going to be able to bring in a hyper-focused intention and creation, and you're going to expand in many ways if you get these energies in balance. So think of it as taking out the trash, right? You're going to sit in the counterclockwise and it's going to unwind the energy, and then you're going to ask to be in the clockwise energy, and it's going to bring in a new and higher frequency energy to take the place, and it's going to reset the system. And then your job is to hold and maintain that divine balance of the system. Rather, that divine balance to you means masculine, feminine balance, or it just means being able to keep your teeter-totter from tilting too much one way or the other. You find yourself in balance with it. And so great times ahead. Use your vortexes, use your helpers with the intuition and the psychic abilities. Use these tools that are being presented to you. Call them in, ask for the help. It's all around you. It's a perfect time to dive in and really hone some skills in for yourself. All right, we'll hand it back over to you, Jason.
Well, before we begin all the other interesting topics, since we were talking about the energies and the timelines and everything, would that have to do with anything with us being so tired? I was talking to Tracie earlier, and she was telling me how she was tired the past few weeks, and then I pretty much had the same experience as well. Is there anything to that?
There is a lot to that. The energies that are coming in. If you've been watching the Schumann resonance, you see it's spiking. The solar flares are spiking. These energy spikes, they definitely, the physical body is feeling it, and it wants to rest. It's acclimating to these energies. And it's what we're seeing in our mind is like when you put one of those weighted blankets on you and it's just so cozy and it makes you just want it. But this is kind of the same thing. The energy is weighted and it's moving into your earth, and it's changing the pressure on the body. It's changing and acclimating the body and the DNA and the cells and all the things to help you become the vibrational frequency that helps you get into the higher frequencies. And so, yes, your body is going through great transformation right now. That's a perfect question.
Gotcha. Yeah, because past few weeks I've been very pooped and not motivated to do much. I know I've been busy with a lot of projects going on, but I thought that had something to do with it. But it just felt like it was something more, like just something else that was just making us so tired.
Yes. And many people are feeling that. And it's not to worry if you're not feeling that. It's okay. Energy is going to come to you where you're at and what you need. And so maybe you've already done this particular work and you're not going to feel it. And then the next time the energy waves come in, might be that Jason's running laps and full of energy, and you might be the one that wants to take the naps. And so don't worry if you're like, oh, I'm not feeling, or I'm not having that happen. Don't worry about that. Everyone experiences things at the exact right time and moment, and you're not all going to experience these symptoms of the shift in the same way or at the same exact time. So those of you who are experiencing it, don't worry, your energy levels will come back. And those of you who are not experiencing it, you may have already done it, or you may be next in line. So just know that it's not anything to worry about.
Interesting. Maybe it's also a way to give us a little bit of a break too,
Absolutely.
for the next round of energy spikes, maybe.
Yeah, this is not the end of the energy spikes, that is for sure. And
Ah,
humanity wants to get to New Earth. These are necessary to move the physical body, the emotional body, all of the bodies that is comprised of you. You've got to move through the things that are coming to the surface when you go through these. You notice also that not only do you go through these tired spells, but you might also be reminiscing and looking at things and feeling emotional about certain things. Maybe you're crying a lot lately, or maybe you're feeling angry a lot and you don't know why you're so short-tempered, or all these things. So it is all serving a purpose within you and
mm,
bringing up whatever it is that needs to come up for you, but also giving your body that time to rest. When you were a baby, you slept a lot, right? You slept a lot because you were growing. Physically, your body was growing. Well, this is kind of the same thing. Now you're growing in a spiritual sense, in that ascension aspect of it. And so your body is resting through that growth.
interesting indeed. Did you want to get into the next topic or did you want to share anything else? Because you kind of mentioned it a little bit. You started talking about the Ascension. I know if you wanted to get into that next.
Well, we could start bringing in the information about the Lemurian energy. You and Tracie were
Okay.
speaking about that, and it kind of ties into the magic that's returning to the planet. So many of you that are listening, you have spent lifetimes in Lemuria. And so what we want to say to you is that you have come back into this world, but you have come back with knowledge. So in the Lemurian times, there was energy that shifted and changed, and there was the collapse that happened throughout the shift and the change. You're not getting you're not getting the energy that collapsed Lemuria, but you are getting the energy that was there that held and sustained the society in this magical world that disappeared during that time.
Mm,
And because of all the work that humanity has been doing with repairing ley lines and crystal grids and all the things, that even gives us chills in the body. The crystal grids are now healed, and the ley lines are now connected again. The portals, as we said, those vortexes are opening up, and the magic is coming back into the land. It's coming back into the water. You're getting your healing waters back. You're getting very magical things are going to start happening, and you're going to be part of that. And those of you who have come back from Lemuria, you have been training in how to hold and sustain this energy so that there's not an experience of the collapse again. And so some of you may feel very activated in that right now, where you're really feeling that energy come in, and you're really feeling how would we want to describe that? When you feel very confident about something, like you just have this knowing and you just know, you're going to start feeling that, and you're going to start understanding. You just know something's happening and you're part of it, and you are holding and sustaining this energy, and you're going to be within your integrity. You're going to be within the strongest version of yourself. You're just really going to be activated, and you're going to be holding this space for this energy to come back. It is not coming back for everyone, because that would not be appropriate, would it? Not everybody is going to use this version of magic
mm,
uh, appropriately. So it cannot come back entirely to all of humanity. It is going to be brought in at a frequency where people that have already been stepping into the 5D frequency, whether they're going back and forth or not, that doesn't matter. They've been doing the work to reach the fifth dimension energy. That's the people that is going to be available to, if that makes sense to you. People that will be responsible with it, people that will use it for humanity and keep raising the vibration and keep using it for the good of humanity, the good of the world, the good of Mother Earth and the animals and all the things. And so this is the frequency that is coming in. And those of you that are feeling it, it is because you have reached that frequency to become a match to the magic energy. And it's a way to help humanity do an accelerated ascension process, but it's also a way to hopefully keep it in the hands of people who are doing good with it and keeping it in that higher frequency. We once magic gets into a denser energy, it doesn't always get used appropriately, and so we are all being as careful as we can be. This is what councils have decided to work with to help bring in that accelerated energy because of the time that we are entering into. It is going to those who have these creative minds that are going to be working with inventions and with creations and with setting up new systems and constructs and helping humanity reach a new level of understanding and of acceptance and of love, all the things. So the magic is real, as Tracie would say. The Lemurian energy that is coming in is cracking open that magic, and those who are ready for it will receive it and start experiencing it and start working with it, shaping it, manifesting with it, creating with it. You're going to be using a lot of sacred geometry and a lot of very powerful understanding of that is going to start coming in for you. You may find that you're stumbling across books and videos and things that are going to help you understand it. And you're going to be drawn to it. You're going to be compelled by it. You're going to want to learn more about it. And so if you find that happening in your world, maybe that'll help you have a little more understanding as to why you all of a sudden feel like you want to seek out more understanding around crop circles, sacred geometry, magical things, fairy realm even. The fairy realm is the realm of magic, and maybe you'll feel more connected to that as well. So that's what we want to say about that subject. And then we'll hand it back to you, Jason. Is there any questions around that?
Yeah, I was always wondering, had Tracie ever had a lifetime with the Lemuria civilization by any chance? Is she connected to that?
She is connected to that. She has had many lifetimes, both in Atlantis and Lemuria. She's had lifetimes in the more ancient civilizations. She has been part of the collective that came here to establish the ley lines and the points to put the temples, such as pyramids and structures that were going to mark the ley lines and the power points of this earth. She's worked on other planets that have worked with that communication to establish Earth's grids. She has done many things with this planet. She loves this planet. And that's why she's here right now, because she's enjoyed all the different tasks and things that she has done here to help with all the different civilizations. As we go back as far as we can think of civilizations here on this planet, then we say go back even further, go back even further. You know,
Yes.
there is discovery of very large skeletal structures. That's been going on for a while, and it is something that quite a few of you are familiar with, being here in a time where those that you would call the giants were here. There's been many civilizations here on this planet, and it has evolved to what it is now. And it's very exciting times. There are many, many collectives here to watch over the transition that is taking place right now. We could talk about that if you want.
Sure. Does
All
this
right.
deal with the changes or balancing of the energy as well?
The ones that are here collectively watching, there are people in place, humanity incarnated, those of you who have incarnated from these other star tribes, you have come in here from your Lemurian experiences. You have been going through training to hold this energy. Is what's going on with the ships and the observers connected? Not necessarily, but they are here to help in any way they can. We spoke on one of our videos not long ago about the Lyran mothership, and the Lyrans were here to help you in whatever way they could. There was a whole ship, mothership of beings who were ready to work with you from Lyra, and they were asking for connection with you to help you bring in the love and the compassion, because that's what's going to help hold and sustain this energy. So just bringing in love and compassion around the world, and whoever feels like they would like to help and contribute, that is how you can help and contribute. You can work in your magic of love and compassion and kindness, and your ability to open the door for someone, compliment somebody, and bring other people up. And that was the assignment they were giving people. Do little things, like compliment somebody's shirt, or how wonderful their smile is, or how much you like their laugh, or how good they look today. The sparkle in their eye. Little things make big things, right? And then they go out and then they're happy and they do something nice for somebody, and it has this ripple effect. And so they were calling on humanity to, if you want to help keep and hold and sustain and raise this vibration, go out and play with the little things, the compliments, the kindness, the opening the door, the letting somebody in front of you in line, whatever it is that makes you feel good, it makes them feel good too. So play in that energy. The ships that are around your Earth right now, there's always ships around your Earth. This is not new. Some of you are probably going, there's always ships around the Earth, right? And we
Correct.
understand there's always ships around the Earth. And sometimes you can even see them moving around in the sky, and they do little tricks for you once in a while to let you know they see you back. But right now we have a few extras around the planet, and that is to help with the other waves of energy that are coming in. So the Lemurian wave is the one that we are talking about today, but you have been going through, over the last few months, you have been going through waves of energy coming in and coming in and coming in. And so that was all getting you ready for the next one and the next one. And then this one, this Lemurian one we're talking about. And so this magic, we have been preparing everyone for the magic. And these ships, they will come and go. These star collectives, they come and go as they are needed. Some of them are just coming to be spectators, right? They're curious. Some of them are in training because they also are going to go to worlds that are ready for some ascension processes, and they're just spectating so that they can take helpful hints in what worked here and take it back with them to the planets they're working with. But there are many things going on all the time in your space. And as you look out into the stars, you can see sometimes it looks like nothing is happening. And sometimes it looks like every 10 minutes or 5 minutes, there's a ship going by and another one, and there's another one, and there's another one. And so why is that? Tracy's in here going, why is that? Some days we look
Yes.
up and it's like nothing is happening.
Yes. We need to ask why.
Yes, well, when you are looking up and nothing is happening, no movement, nothing, it just seems like everything's just staying still. That is when you have a ship above you.
Mm.
So when you are looking up into your stars and you see the movement, that is the natural state of things. But when you look up in the stars and the stars are just the stars, and there's no little movement here or there, no satellites, no ships moving, then that's a cloak. That is when you have a ship over top of you, that it's still very high up in your atmosphere, but it is cloaking the stars, and so it has to mimic the stars because it is in the way of them. And so when you see no movement, that is the time to get most excited, right? That is the time to allow yourself the opportunity to get creative with that, and start asking in your mind, ask to speak to them. Do they have anything that they can share with you? What is it that they would like you to know? And see what comes in, because, and even if you just sit there and you feel it, when you go outside, you feel what it's like to be outside. You can feel the energy is very expansive. And then when you're sitting in a room or in a home and you do that same thing, you can feel, you can sense the walls around you and the roof over your head, right? There's a little bit of a sense that there's a roof there. Well, when you go outside and there's a ship overhead and it's still, we ask you to tune in and see, do you feel like you're inside or outside? Does your energy expand out, or does it feel like there's a roof over your head? You're going to be able to play with your own intuition to see if you can sense that energy of something above, and maybe play in that a little bit as well. Help tune in
Mm.
those spidey senses, if you will, and have some fun with it. That is one thing we always ask everyone to do. Have fun with it. Don't get serious about it. Don't get mad about it if it's not working, because that's the block that you run into. If you get too serious about it, or you're getting frustrated because the person next to you is rattling on and on about all the things that they're seeing and experiencing, and you're not able to have that same experience, that's what's getting in the way. You just allow that to go away and allow your imagination to play with you. What do you think's out there? What do you think's happening? And just start playing in that energy with childlike wonderment. You've heard this 100 times over. Get into your childlike wonderment. And that is when that playful energy comes in and the doors will open and that creative mind will start expanding. And that is when the communication can start. That is when you start sensing things. And then you are the typical human. You come back in and you go, I think I made it all up. And we say to you, you're going to receive what you believe. So if you believe you made it all up, you're going to create that story, and then you're going to believe that story, and it's not going to hold any resonance for you. But if you allow yourself to have that experience and then just say to yourself, what if that was real? What if that was real and I really experienced that? What if I got to communicate with that Star Sea collective that was in that ship? What if I got to talk to those ETs and that was a real thing? And just start getting into what if? What if that was real? Allow yourself that and see what happens. You have nothing to lose, right? What's it going to harm anybody if you just let yourself believe for a minute that Santa Claus is real, that all of this is real, right? And it was appropriate for this season, we thought, to bring Santa Claus into it. But what if it's all real? What if these beings are all here helping? What if you are going to be living in a fifth dimensional frequency? What if New Earth is a real thing? Start playing in that and start realizing that you can create it just by believing in it is creating it. And as we have all learned over the years of doing these podcasts and going through these videos, we are creating through the belief systems, the frequencies. We are creating new frequencies. We are creating in these thoughts and in these ways of being in the world, and what we are putting our energy onto. And it's been scientifically proven that what you put your energy into is what you're going to create more of. You could sit there in your own living room and create negative stories and find yourself experiencing more negative things to complain about. And then you could turn around and say, okay, now I'm going to do the other side and I'm going to be positive, positive, positive. And then you'll find that you get more and more positive things to get excited about. You can do it in your own home and you can see the difference. You can play in that energy. And so we say to you, what do you want to create? You live in a society that is teaching you how to focus on the negative. You have a choice. Do you want to keep focusing on the thing that doesn't feel good, or the thing that isn't working, or the thing that appears to not be happening? Or do you want to jump into, that's okay. That's okay that didn't work out. Something better is coming. And I know that something better is lining up, and something better is lining up, and something better is lining up. And it's here for me now. And I'm going to just be in this moment, enjoy what's happening right now, and find 5 things I like about this moment. And yes, it's for some of you, that's probably making you go, oh, that's just too much positivity, right? But as you keep stepping into finding 5 things you like about each and every day, then after you do that for a little bit, find a few more things and a few more things. And next thing you know, you're going to, all day long, you're going to be finding things you like about the day because you've shifted that energy. And so it's a very powerful tool. Your mind and what you are focusing on is very powerful. And so believe the things that you want to believe in, and get excited about the things and bring in the childlike wonderment and go into your 2025 with excitement, with knowing things are going to change. And when things change, something might fall away. Something might not feel good for a minute, but it needs to fall away so that this other thing can come in. And you know that now. If life has taught you anything, it's taught you that. As you look back on your life and you think of the things that fell away, and then later the new thing comes in and you realize, if that didn't fall away, I would have never gotten to this. And this is worth getting to, right? And so people that have been on their spiritual journey, they know the dark night of the soul, they know that some of this journey can be an uphill climb, but you ask them, would you still do it to get where you are today? And they will say yes every time, because where they are today is such a beautiful place. And they know so much more than they knew back then. And the healing journey, it might not be a fun one, but boy, when you can heal and no longer be tormented by the traumas, it is worth the journey. And so we will slow down for a moment and see if there's anything you wanted to add to that, Jason.
Yeah, so if we can circle back to the ships and the star families, are you able to tell us who they are and where they're at?
They're all of them and they're everywhere. Uh, well, for you, obviously, we've got Palladian connections real close by for you.
A people's people.
That's right. And there are a lot of the Palladians in ships right now around the planet because they are very involved with the ascension of Earth. We have the Lyrans, we spoke about them already, and we have the Mantis beings, we spoke about them already. When we speak of the motherships they are filled with all kinds of different star collectives from all over the multiverse, really. And so they come in these collectives and they all work together. And it's a beautiful thing. You might end up with a counselor, a group, or a team that you are working with where they could have 10 different star species with them, and everyone is working together and bringing in their special talent for that. So when you ask who's all here, they're all here. We've got the Arcturians and we have the Arcturians. There are what we call the cousins to the Arcturians. Some are that they all appear the same in what might be the physical appearance, the structure of the body and the head and that type of thing, but they are taller, shorter. Some have different colors. There might be some that the tones look a little more blue or gold or metallic. So we have all these different versions of the species as well. Just like the Lyrans, they're not all lions. They show up in any form of the feline species. And so we have all these wonderful things that we're just still learning and growing. And the dragons are here. They say, don't forget the dragons are here. The dragons, we got the tall whites, 12th dimensional healers. They are holding a lot of healing. They're activating a lot of healers right now. And we spoke about that with the journey coming up with Tracie on the 29th. There's going to be a healer's journey with the journey we're taking with her on the 29th. That's going to activate a lot of people. The hands are being activated, and a lot of people that don't understand that they are healers, they're going to be waking up to their healing hands and wondering why they're feeling that tingling and the hands are getting hot. And there's going to be some special activations throughout the planet with that. We're being drawn over to India right now, so we just want to ask, what is that about? There's some healing going on in the lands over in that area of your planet. There's healing for the land there that has been amplified. We're asking, is that to do with the grids and the ley lines and the crystals? It has more to do with releasing. This is happening. Okay, so this is happening throughout the planet. There are certain collectives that are working with healing traumas of the planet throughout the ages. This is all of history, all the imprints that have been left in the land itself, in the earth, in those parts of the world. And so they're showing us that there are collectives working on that, both on planet, both the incarnated and those that are working from the other realms in the ships. And so there's a lot of that happening right now. Some people might connect to that, might feel like that resonates for them, that they're helping with the release of the imprints of the earth so that the earth can have a fresh start, right? It's like when you had a computer for a while and you decide, I want to upgrade my computer, and you want to sell your computer, but what do? You got to wipe it clean of all the things in the
Mm,
memory, right? You got to clear it and reset it to factory standards. Well, that's kind of what this is. They're resetting Earth so that the magic can come back, so that this energy can be transmuted, repurposed,
mm,
and brought into a higher frequency. It's really quite fascinating with the way they're showing it, as all these ships are up above, and it's almost like they're shining like a luminescent light over areas of land, and the ground crew is sending energy into this space as well. And they might actually even be the conduit. Oh, okay. So we want to address this. If you feel like you got too much energy moving through your body, ask them to form a what do we want to call it? A tube around you. Form a tube around you of energy and ask them to use the energy tube to move the energy, not your physical body. That's going to help a lot of people. And we almost want everyone to just say it in their heads right now, just in case you are running energy through your body that doesn't need to be running through the body. You can create a tube, whether you're at the center of the tube or the tube is next to you, but ask them to use the tube to move the energy. Why is that happening, is Tracie's question. Why is it running through the body? It's running through the body because we need permission, right? This is the non-interference planet. This is the third dimension non-interference. And so in order for these collectives to help, they need permission from someone in the physical body. And so the volunteers, as you know yourselves as, are the light workers. They came into the physical body so that they could be those conduits for those who are helping from the other realms. And so you physically have become the conduit of this energy, or possibly you have. And so let's just set the intention that it doesn't run through your body, but you are giving permission for this to take place, and it can run through the tube of light and transmute that way. But it's happening around the world. There is more activity happening in your oceans right now. More discovery is going on in the oceans. Part of that discovery is going to be the societies that live in the waters in your oceans. There are a few different communities that live in the deep. And so as the exploration of the oceans continue, you're going to start discovering that they've been here all along, right? And they've been living with you all along within these communities, and some of them have come to the surface. There are some of you here that have incarnated from these communities that live deep in the waters. You have come to the surface to incarnate as human so that you can help humanity acclimate and understand and be at peace with these communities, so that they also can rise and intermingle with the surface people, right? It's funny because that's how we hear of humanity a lot, the surface people. Because you got inner earth, you have the water beings, the ones in the water, and then you have the ones that live on the surface. And so that is you. We are working very heavily with the surface people right now. So that, I don't know if that came as a shock to some of the people, that there are civilizations within the water, there's civilizations inner earth, and there's civilizations on the surface, which is you. So did we lose track? Did we get to everything we were hoping to touch with that?
yeah, I think so. Just to be a little bit clear, so the civilizations under the water, I'm assuming they've been here for a long time, but you're not talking about alien bases underwater by any chance. You're talking about civilizations that have been here for a while.
Well, you would consider them alien. They came from another planet where their planet did not survive, basically. Those
Uh,
who, just like when Lemuria went down and the people made it to the shores, and they made it into Mount Shasta, and they made it, that type of thing. Well, these beings made it off the planet, and they've they were able to create an atmosphere that would work for them in the ocean. They have created community
Hmm.
down there. So they've been here a very long time, but they did come from another planet, yes.
Interesting.
But in truth, so have all of you, right? They were all from other planets, and but these,
Yeah, you go back far enough, you start peeling back that onion, you find lifetimes on other planets, on the water, and so on.
yes, yeah, and it'll be an interesting time. But yeah, some of the population from the water civilization has incarnated, just as the volunteers have. The consciousness has been projected into the human body to live a life up here to help people prepare and get ready to welcome these other beings. They are the ones that are in the water are in connection with the ships and all the things. In fact, there's been sightings of ships going in and out of the water. That is because they are still connected with, they have advanced technology. They are connected with the galactic cruise and doing doing their part as well, for whatever they can do from where they are at. They are doing their part as well. So it's going to be some interesting times ahead, and the more humanity explores, the more they'll find. They're going to find ancient artifacts in both in Egypt and other sacred spaces around the world. Remember, we were telling you Tracie's been here before. She was helping to set up these positions for these sites to be um, brought to life, right? To be built and be in function. And there's going to be some artifacts that will be discovered that will indicate that something that was not of this planet was here. And they've already got a lot of evidence of that. They're just not sharing it with the general population at this time. But there will be, again, things that are discovered that they cannot hide, just like the sightings that we spoke of. More and more sightings, more and more sightings. They can't hide it anymore. They can't play it off as it being what do they call it, weather balloon, or whatever they might describe it as. And
Swamp gas.
oh yeah, they're just setting off another rocket again, and it's like, how many times can they do that? And so yes, there's been a lot more sightings around the planet, um, a lot more going on with humanity waking up and seeing these things and not allowing the government to sway them on what they think they saw. People are People have seen things over the years. They've seen it and then they're told it's something else, and then they let that program sink in, right? And no longer, that's not happening anymore. There's so many people that have stepped into the awakening, that the ones that are still a little bit in that fog, they're not able to stay in that fog. They're going to be coming out of it as well. And so, uh, you know how it has that ripple effect. And pretty soon, those that are in resistance are going to start to fall into the stream of humanity's awakening. And it's
Mm.
going to be a big jump in that. And we talked, you were going to ask us about the next coming year ahead, and we're going to say
Yeah, I didn't know if we
notice
had
a lot.
time to talk about that, but yeah, if we have some time, that would be interesting to talk about.
Beautiful. We'll step into that. And so as we round up 2024, it was a beautiful year of disclosure. It was a beautiful year of amazing things happening and shifts and changes. And it was a big year for you in the astrological sense of moving out of a more primal energy and into the air sign of Aquarius, which is now putting everybody in their thinking mind. And you're going to be very creative in the upcoming years. Your mind is going to start expanding and it's not going to be held back anymore. And so as we move into 2025, because of this, you're going to see a lot more creativity in humanity, a lot more growth in technology, a lot more growth in the medical systems and how we are healing things, people that are going to start understanding how to work with the frequencies to heal the body, to create the frequencies. We all see those examples of how they play with water and the crystallization of the water, how they put sand on a plate and then hit a vibration and it makes a symbol or a pattern. These people, the ones that have come here to bring this knowledge into this world, are starting to figure out how to make the devices to help work with humanity and the healing of the body, and bringing the emotional, physical, mental, spiritual bodies into alignment. There's just so much going on. But this next 2 years is going to, everybody's saying, when's it happening? When's it happening? When's it happening? And now you're all going, oh, I think we're in it. I think we're in it. I think we're in it, right? And
This
you're
has
really
to be
going to be
it.
thinking that this has to be it. And we know that there's been a picture painted of this happening rather quickly. And from our point of view, it is happening extremely quickly. But over the next 2 years, 25, 26, you're going to see a lot of change happening. Change sometimes, like we said, can be uncomfortable, but we want you to stay in the memory of this being the thing that's going to the thing everybody wants, right? So you have to let something go so something new can come in. And so you're going to be seeing a lot of that over 25 and 26. You're going to be seeing yourself letting go of structures. You're going to see yourself letting go of relationships. You're going to see yourself letting go of, how many people know a narcissist right now, right? Like, the narcissists are serving such a beautiful purpose in this world, and yet that's hard to understand because they can create so much pain and they can be so cruel at times. But the narcissist is the quickest teacher to self-love. They're going to push you, push you, push you, push you, push you until you finally say, screw you, I love myself enough to not put up with this anymore. And then you can hear the celebrations start to happen. It's like your spirit team is blowing the horns and throwing the confetti, because that's the point. The whole time, that whole relationship was about bringing you to the understanding that you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. You start to love yourself. You start to take care of yourself, and you start to stand up for yourself, and you're no longer the passive doormat. And those who have been on the healing journey, a lot of you have gone through this because you're here, and the program that's running is, I'm here to help humanity. I'm here to heal. Well, you see this narcissist person, they are going to, because you are in this passive energy, they're going to find you, you're going to find them. But you can be the healer without being the doormat. You can be this beautiful, compassionate, loving, kind being without always sacrificing your joy so someone else can be happy. So it's that martyr thing, and it is that doormat piece that you feel like you have to do what everybody else wants you to do so that you can keep the peace. And that's not true. It's when you step into your power that you are actually teaching humanity how to behave in a way that is loving and compassionate and kind. And that's how you become the healer. That's when you become the true healer. So that's a big message for a lot of people, that if you are going through a journey like that, if you feel like you are the healer, take a look, assess and look around you. How are the people around you treating you? Are they kind and respectful and rejoicing that you are in their lives, or are they abusive to you? And it's the abusive ones, it's time to stand up to them. It's time to say no more. This is what you've been working towards the whole time, is to step into your power and to show humanity how to change. How to change. You no longer get to treat me like that. If you want me in your life, you're not going to treat me like that anymore. I will not stand for it. And that's how we start to bring in that fifth dimensional kindness, understanding, compassion, and respect for one another. Okay. We forgot your
Absolutely.
question, Jason. Are we go off topic and we go and get into
Nah, I think you're
so,
still a little bit on topic, but for the Ascension and for the next 2 years, you talked about change. Are you able to go into any more details about any changes coming up that you foresee
let us just
that
sit
you
with
could
this for a
share?
minute and see what comes in for that question. We're not sure why. They're showing us a baseball game, so watch baseball. I don't know. Maybe something's going to change within the sports, at the entertainment field of the sports. We want to ask, why are you showing us where we feel like we are hovering over a large stadium with a lot of people and there's a baseball game going on? So be in our head for a minute and see if you can help us figure that one out. Um,
Maybe it's part of that movie. If you build it, they will come.
oh, that gives us chills. Okay, very good. Yes. Uh, we also see it as communities coming together, right? Like-minded people who's all going to the game, the people that love the game, right? And so all these like-minded people, because the stadium is full and the community is there. We're all watching the game. Okay. And so that might be how they're referring to what humanity
Oh,
is right now as well. They're all watching the game.
if they
And
would have said Super Bowl, we would have caught on a lot sooner.
oh my goodness. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Okay, so 2025, what can you tell us about that? We see a lot of things that nature does all the time anyways. The same types of weather things are going to be happening as far as storms and or volcanoes or earthquakes and things like that. We don't see anything out of the ordinary there. The dragon energy, they want to make sure that they announce they're going to be more present. So those of you who connect with your dragons, that energy will be more present. Now, don't get us wrong, dragons, at least our experience with the dragon energy, they are very loving, very kind. It's kind of like your favorite puppy dog, only in a big giant dragon body, right? And so they're going to be protective over you, but they're also very loving, very kind. And so it feels like there's a lot of protection. Protection may not be the word we want to use because that gives that feeling that there's something to protect against, but they're your guardians. They're going to help clear your path and help you move smoothly through these transitions is how we feel. A lot of what happens in 2025 is about your personal journey. It doesn't feel as much of you're going to have changes within your government. You're going to have changes within some of the structures, but those are things you already know are coming. We don't see anything huge in that regard, but the individual journey is big in 2025. If you have thought you already been through a lot with your journey, there's going to be a lot of people, those of you who already have gone through it and you go through the divorce or the separation or the breakdown of everything you knew. You lost your job, you lost your car, you lost your spouse, you lost this, you lost that, right? And it's like you go through that dark night of the soul. You're going to see a lot of humanity going through that and shifting and changing and creating something better for themselves. More and more people are going to be hitting that where they know they're in a situation that isn't fluid for them anymore. And so personal life changes is going to be huge in 2025. 2026 is setting up more towards with 2026 we see that bridge, the bridge that we tell people about. You're creating the bridge to a new earth for humanity. And so those of you who feel connected to being one of the bridge keepers building that bridge, a lot more people will successfully hold and sustain the fifth dimension, and they'll be living in 5D permanently in 2026. If they are ready to do it, they will do it. They'll be able to live in that reality, and they will no longer be experiencing the densities of 3D. So that is a very exciting time. That's something to work towards, right? That's something for all of us to work towards. As far as interaction with spacecraft, ETs, there's already a lot of that going on. More and more people are understanding this connection. There's a lot more people channeling, and a lot more people will be channeling. That's part of the shift that's going on with Tracie right now, is pushing her more into a teaching of this craft and Don't let me do it for she. It's the biblical thing. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime, right? Feed a man, he'll eat for a day. So she's moving more into the teaching so that others can be expansive in this way. And instead of her doing it for them, she wants to teach them how to do it so that she says, what am I doing? I'm working myself out of a job here, right? But
There's
as
always going
she
to be more people to teach, right?
there's always going to be more people to teach. We're reminding her of the population right now. And so, yes, so she's going to be working more in that, and other people will be called to do the same. We want everyone to remember that, yes, you're in a monetary system and you need money to survive, but don't get lost in that and forget why you're here. This is about the ascension. It is about you came here because you wanted to help. And so don't get distracted in the other things that are going on in the third dimensional densities. Or if you do, don't judge yourself. Don't get hard on yourself. Just move beyond it, let it go, and move forward. Because you will go back and forth, right? You get pulled in, you get sucked into something, and then you get pulled back out. You get sucked in, and then you find something to pull you back out. And then that's how you're going to do the healing. And it's how you're going to move into being able to hold and sustain the fifth dimension and hold that space there. Now, why do we need people in the fifth dimension new earth now? Or in 2026, we'll see that. And that is because they are going to be holding that frequency in a space where we can find it, where humanity can find it. And so we need some to go ahead of the group and get there and hold and sustain it. And they are the other side of the bridge, right? So you'll have your third dimensional light workers in the 3D side, and you have your 5D light workers on the 5D side, and they're holding both ends of the bridge to get humanity over to the other side. Anyways, that will go on for a while. And it's not going to be snap your fingers, everybody's there. It is that individual journey. So 2025, 2026 is going to be, we ask humanity, focus on where you're at, focus on what you're doing, check in with yourself, ask your team, am I doing what I need to do? Am I on the right path? Am I holding this frequency? Am I letting go of the fear? Am I letting go of judgment? Am I able to am I working in the right direction for all of this? Check in with yourself. It's about your path, but you're also here as a teacher, as you are watching this video, you are drawn to it because you are here and you are called to help with these things and help with humanity. So we do understand that as well. This journey is about you, and showing the way, and then you're going to reach your hand out and bring people with you, right? You're going to teach them what you've learned. And so that's going to be a great time. The interaction with other planetary beings gets stronger, as we said, but we don't feel like people want to know, when are we going to shake hands? When are we going to you have them here tangibly? We can't speak anymore. We can see Tracie is getting tired. But
Uh-oh.
that tangible connection is not quite ready yet. But it is getting closer. And we've talked about the ones who are the ambassadors, that they have been working with your frequency for a while, that you'll be able to go back and forth. There are steps to be taken to move into a world where you're going to be able to interact with these extraterrestrial beings in a more personal and in-person setting. There's still a lot to be done. So if you want that to happen, just keep working on yourself, because it's about your frequency. It's about your vibration. More and more people are seeing Bigfoot right now. Why is that happening? Well, because they're raising their vibration and they're becoming a non-threatening frequency. And so Bigfoot feels safe. Bigfoot's a highly sensitive extraterrestrial being. And when your energy is not at a right frequency, they will hide themselves from you. But if you are a pure of heart, then they will show themselves.
Hmm.
And so more and more people are going to be seeing Bigfoot as well, maybe even capturing pictures, more clear pictures, not the fuzzy darting off Bigfoot pictures, but maybe something a little bit more believable, if you will, something that's has a little bit more focus on that camera, right? So a lot of things a lot of things going on. You guys are all working in the right direction, doing the right things. As they have said, as many people have said already, that channel and bring messages, we have already made it. We're just catching up to that point. The scale has already tipped, and now it is just a matter of everyone else catching up to that and getting to these next milestones of the ascension. So we just say wonderful work, everyone. The work is not done. More and more right now, the volunteers are being activated and being called into the next phase of what you are doing. So if you felt like you were in limbo, don't worry. That's going to ease up here real soon as you're going to get your new assignments or feel that you have understood what your next phase is and what you came here to do. And so you're going to be slingshotted forward into that next phase soon enough. If you're in a slow time, as we have told Tracie, enjoy it. Just relax and enjoy it. You're going to be taken care of. Everything will work out. And so then we'll leave it there at that with you, Jason, and see if you have any questions.
I know it's getting about to be that time. So before I let you go, I did want to touch base with you on this. So the cruise that Tracy's going to go on with the QHHT class, they had the ship name is called Starship. Is there any metaphysical connection, any connection with that?
That was just us using some humor, putting them on the star. Of course, that makes us all happy here too. And that is going to be a very activating, there will be a lot of fun, a lot of laughter and the high vibrations in that trip. And as they go into Iceland, as they go into Greenland, it is not just about them bringing their energy to those spaces, but it's about the activation that will come back with them. There is codes that the collective that feels called to go there. There are codes for them to also be downloaded with and information for all of them to share with each other. And so this cruise is very activating. Remember we talked about the water and the things going on with water right now are very important. And they're going to be floating on the water, right? And you were just floating on the water. There's
Yeah.
something activating about that as well. And so there's just a lot of things that are going to come through enlightenment, a lot of people that will be sharing their experiences together, which will activate each other. You go to one side of the world and Tracy go to the other side of the world, and you both learn something, then you come back together and you share it, right? And that's what's happening is we're bringing a group of people together to share their experiences, and they're all going to learn from each other. And we're going to bring in some phenomenal things for them when we are channeled in for the day that Tracie is speaking. We'll be bringing in some activation through that and some connections to why they are all there together. What is the purpose of that? It's going to be extraordinary time, and a lot of connections will be made with that. A lot of people will leave. They'll have a hard time going home because they won't want to leave their family members that they have just reunited with. And so there will be a lot of connection happening on that ship.
Perfect. Before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to say to the collective?
Hmm.
Any parting messages?
Let us see here. What would be the parting message for the collective at this time? We see. Okay. So what they're showing us is that they are bringing a lot of light codes in for everyone right now. What they ask of you, we set the intention that you only receive that which is in the highest and best good. Now with that, we want you to quit trying to figure out what it is because you block it when you're trying to figure it out. Just be in the flow of the energy, knowing that your gatekeepers are in place and they are only allowing the highest frequencies to come through to you. And that our intentions is that only the highest frequencies that you are ready to receive at this time will come through. And so be in the flow of that and be in the joy of knowing that you are going the right direction and you are watched over. Call on us and bring in that energy around you. We are here. We can help to remove the obstacles. We can help to clear the path and clear the mind so that you are ready and understanding and clear of mind. But don't try to figure out what is it that I'm being downloaded with? What is it that's supposed to change? What is it? What is it? Let that go. And just be in that open willingness and say, okay, I'm not feeling resistance. I'm going to go this way. Oh, I feel resistance here. I'm going to let that go. And see how that goes for you. Some of you, you'll get very clear path, and some of you are going to have to play bumper cars, right? You're going to bump into something and go, nope, that wasn't the right way. Nope, oh, here we go. Smooth path this way, right? And so it's designed that way to help you learn what's yours, what's your ego, what's spirit, what's outside influences, what's spirit, what's ego, what's outside influences. And you're just going to keep doing that, right? You're going to do it until you go, oh, I understand it now, and then it's smooth sailing. So it's all about learning to trust and understand and just be in the flow and trust your heart and your compass, your nudges. So that's what we encourage all of you to just enjoy yourselves right now, be in the best mood you can find. Even if things aren't going right, find something that makes you giggle. Maybe you go on your little apps on your phone and you find the things that make you laugh, and just spend time in that so that you're not in that density. You're able to clear that and just go laugh. And another way to clear that energy is to go outside and take a walk and be in fresh air, be in nature, whatever you can find. Put your feet in the dirt if you can, or the sand, or whatever, earthy thing is around you, so that you can connect with Gaia. And your life is going the right direction. So put your energy into that, let the other things go, and just keep moving forward. And see, we can even turn a simple question like that into a very long answer, Jason. So we'll leave you with that, and we'll give Tracie her break now.
Yeah, I think she's starting to turn Irish on us.
We're gonna make sure that doesn't happen. We're gonna let her go back into her body, and we thank you so much for letting us be here with everyone tonight and for sharing these messages. So great gratitude.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Whew. Yeah, I can start feeling my throat, my voice is like
Yeah, I think he was getting an accent.
that happens. Yeah. What time zone am I in? Well, so anyways,
Welcome back. How was it? What did you see?
um, there was a lot of things to see. That was pretty cool. Seeing us narrowing down those timelines in the beginning there. I'm trying to think of all the things we were talking about. That was kind of cool to see the timelines were narrowing down, and that's part of why we're remembering more than one timeline, which can be confusing. Like, where'd my other chair go? I thought that was funny. They brought that up. I forgot that happened. It's like, I literally went and got my son and I said, is anything missing over here to you? And he's like, no. I said, there wasn't a third chair there? And he's like, well, there used to be, and we moved that chair over here. And I said, no. We had 4 altogether. There was 3 over here and 1 over there. And he's like, no. And we had this whole conversation about it. And I just kind of giggled because I was like, okay, that was another timeline then.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta make a joke about it, like, oh, must be that other timeline, must be
Yeah,
that other universe.
I think my kids are getting used to me saying things like that. That must have been the other timeline. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's been happening to me quite a bit this last year. It's happened to me a lot where I'm having a memory that's different than what other people are saying or doing. I'm like, I don't remember it that way. And anyway, so yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's caught up with me a few times because I was like, no, it was like this. And they're like, everyone's like, no, it's not. I'm like, that's weird. Like, I'm gonna have to reshift my head, my thinking now. But then, then it does. It shifts into that, and then it's
Yeah.
fine. It just,
Yep.
it's
Then
kind
you
of like
collect yourself.
it's like the butterfly effect. When he gets to the new timeline or whatever, the whole download comes in, and then he has the information from that. I feel like that kind of happens Like I'm
Yeah.
allowed to see that I shifted into a different timeline by this little subtle thing, but then it becomes my new normal and it's okay. So
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense, because if you're gonna hang out and do things on this timeline, you better reacclimate yourself to it real quick.
yeah. Yeah, if you want to fit in and not feel like you want to run away screaming, why isn't anything the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the ships, the star families, Lemuria, the Lemurian Energy. Where do you want to begin with all that?
Well, some of it I've already got to kind of sit with because it was part of what came through on my YouTube channel over the last week. But the Lemurian energy is quite interesting to me because what they were showing me is all the ones that came from that have incarnated from Lemuria. And when you asked if I was there, then I realized I was part of that. I'm like, oh, I guess I am. So so that
All
was kind of
right, we,
cool.
we got to know. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot.
I mean, if we don't ask, I don't think to ask sometimes those questions if I'm part of that. And so yeah, I was seeing myself as holding that space to create the frequency that will allow the magic back in. But what I didn't know is that the magic wasn't coming in like blanket over all of humanity,
Hmm.
that it was being reserved for the people that are reaching certain frequencies because they're the ones that will do, things for humanity with it. Um, Stay in integrity with it, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And do good things with it versus doing things for their own personal gain.
Huh.
So that part was new. I didn't know that piece before. So that was cool. But yeah, that's going to be fun to see who's packing the magic. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're the next show we're going to see Jason dressed like a wizard holding a wand.
That's right.
I'd be
That's
like, I
right.
did it.
I look like Mickey Mouse from Fantasia.
Yeah, I hit the frequency. I got it.
Tracy, it's working. It's working. I got the magic.
That's right. Then he will just see what he's pointing that wand at. What is he doing? What is he creating? But sacred geometry has been a big thing that seems to be showing up also for me. Like
Oh, really?
yeah,
Has,
like
has this been coming up in your
yes, actually it has. When the Lemurian goddess came forward, she was holding that star. And
hmm.
in the Merkaba sense of it, like it was 3D or
Oh, interesting. Are you trying to give me some ideas for volume three, Stories of Magic comic book?
very possible, very possible. Maybe you should come on the 29th. They're using the sacred geometry to reach the new information for healing. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
if you want me there, let me know.
she
But
was holding, yeah, she was holding the star in her hand when she came through, and that was the message that we were going to use sacred geometry in that um
yeah,
journey on the
I can
29th. So,
if you bring up the symbol, I can go over my notes that I've written down throughout the years about it. So
yeah,
fun.
there's a lot with that symbol there for sure. And the triangles were coming in. That's the other thing. They were showing them. It was almost like,
Mhm.
how you would stack some plates or whatever, and then they were spinning them, and I was seeing it from above, and it was like all these individual triangles just kind of swirling and doing um this interesting thing where it kind of like when you got one of those straws that you can stretch out and pop, it was kind of doing the stretching thing, and it was swirling. And
Oh, this triangle or a different one?
no, this was when the Lemurian lady came through with the star, which didn't happen today. That was a couple of days ago. She showed me that.
Okay.
And the triangles, she was showing me the triangles, and the triangles were creating the vortexes that they did talk about, but they didn't talk about this creating it. So apparently that was part of the magic that was coming in, that was opening up the portals, or the vortexes, I should say, the
Mhm.
vortexes that we're all supposed to be playing in, and having them help us clear the energy and reset our chakra systems and stuff. So yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. See, I'm gonna go right back into the channel and start talking Irish again.
Yeah, I was like, was that an Irish accent coming through? I was like, did Daniel switch it us on?
Daniel switching it up. It could have been that maybe another, because there's 7 of them in the council. So if you're new to watching this, there's 7 in my council, and sometimes Daniel will pop out and one of the others will pop in. So that could be what
That is
happened.
true. That is true.
So usually I'll notice that, but since they're all part of the same council, they're all speaking through him. So it kind of feels the same when it's part of that council that switches out. But when other star groups come in, like the Lyrans or the Andromedans or something like that, then I can feel the difference when they're talking through me. But when it's my council, they all come from the right side, and they'll come in, and the only thing that catches my attention with it is when my voice changes, if I catch it. But I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
catch it, but you did.
Well, a
So
little bit. I was like, she's either getting tired or she's talking like a leprechaun.
but probably both.
Gotcha. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very interesting stuff with the waters. And I do have to say, for a part of the cruise that we were on last week with the water, we went swimming in the cavern and cenote, so the sinkhole. So we went swimming, and I mean that was beautiful. That was a
Wow.
wonderful experience, and that was in Playa de Carmen. Thank you, Karen. I
But
always want to call it Playa de Maya.
well, of course, because that rhymes and it's just fun.
Right. But I know that's not it. So I was stopping myself. So,
Yeah.
but that water was so crystal clear and so rejuvenating.
Wow.
It was like,
So you were experiencing the healing waters
I
then.
think so. My
Yeah.
skin, my skin feels better too.
Yeah. On the East Coast, I don't know if you remember when I was bouncing back and forth to Florida, it seemed like I was over there quite a bit. And that they were working on it back then, and that was 2019, probably to 20 for about 2 years. I was kind of back and forth there. They were telling me about connecting with Crystal City and bringing that frequency into the waters and bringing back the healing waters back then. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool to have you explain or to describe that and have that experience. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And on top of that, I was able to take video footage because sometimes they don't let you record certain things. But this
Mhm.
guy, my tour guy, was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, record." So I will have some video on my personal YouTube channel of the video of us in the cavern and in the cenote. So
Wow. Very nice.
it was fun. So I think if we ever go to Cozumel again from the cruise port, we'll book that excursion again.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So the ships, so the whole gang is up there, huh? The whole gang's all
That was a
gathered
lot.
up.
Yeah, it almost looked like something from a cartoon or something in my head where like they'd pull up and they would see what's going on. You could see
Do
them
a little
coming and
zap zapping
going.
thing.
Yeah. Like, and it's like what they do in the movies. Like they would come in super fast and then boop, they stop. And then they'd take off and then there was a couple of motherships also kind of floating around. We know one of them is communication from the Lyrans came through. Um I think there's another mothership up there that they were talking about that would be separate from the Lyran one that carried many of the collectives in it, and so that particular ship felt familiar to me, and if it's the same ship, it's one where it's huge. It's like it would be like taking the United States and making it into a ship, and it was several stories high, and it's just this huge ship, and their whole purpose is to go to different worlds that are advancing and
Yeah,
to
experiencing
assist
their
with.
version of the Ascension kind of thing.
Yeah, and so it's beings from all walks of life are on that ship, and they all work together to do it. So, you know, I
that the
better say
doggy?
it doesn't usually come say hi, so we'll see
Oh,
if
it's the little kitty cat.
yeah. This is Theo. Look at Buddy loves
Oh.
Theo. Look at you want your cat. That dog loves cats. It's obsessed with them. But anyway, so yeah,
Maybe the dog was a cat in a past life.
I'm gonna guess. Maybe he was a mother cat if he was. He probably had several litters of kittens because he loves cats. He will clean them and bathe them.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
So 2025, 2026, some interesting stuff. Of course, we already know about some of the changes to be expected, but the advice that you was given was interesting to like accept it, let it go, let it flow through you, kind of thing. Let
yeah.
the, don't hold on to certain things and just make sure to release, let go,
Well, and it felt like
let
that
it
was going to
flow.
be easier for us to do. I'm going to say that too, as you're talking about it. It's almost like that, like sometimes we say, well, that's easier said than done. In this particular case, it feels like
We kind of know.
the more we're growing, the more we can go, oh, that was a lesson, and I see what I learned from that. And it'd be really easy to let it go versus dwelling on it, hanging on it, and all that kind of stuff. I think we're moving past that now as we're all learning to identify why did that show up in my life? What am I doing with that? What did I want to learn? Oh, I want to heal this part of me from when I was 7 years old, and then it's gone, and it's easy to let it go. So I think we're moving into that where we're going to be able to move through these traumas, these things that show up for us way faster. So I will say that too. And then the other part that was exciting to see was the part of the collective that gets to hold and sustain the fifth dimension. They're by 2026, they'll just be living in New Earth. They'll understand what New Earth is, and they're going to hold that space.
Really?
It's the most friendly this
Climbing
cat's
with
been
people.
with me for a long time, by the way.
If it's okay, I would like to share my notes for 2025 and 2026 that I've gathered through either YouTube or different books.
Absolutely. I know I would want to know, so I know the audience would want to
Yeah, it's good
know.
stuff. So this dealt with a note from 2025. The higher self said that we will know that we are not alone in the universe and that we will know that aliens exist. So maybe as a mass population, we will know. So that information came from Suzanne Spooner, YouTube video, June 2022. The Native Nomad Higher Self was the title.
Hmm.
Another note for 2025, the beginning of the Earth to start the third reality to the fourth reality, to remove negativities, to be lighter and brighter so the new molecules can take place and reduce the fear molecules and process begins for the 4D energy molecule. I remember that video. That was pretty cool. So that was a YouTube video, May 2020, Designer of the Reality,
Hmm.
session 2.
So that's
I
similar.
remember that
Yeah,
session. I remember that one.
that's pretty cool.
You will like this one for a note for 2026. We will initiate the DNA. You will have loop your strands. So I guess that's when the DNA can more gets connected to the
Hmm.
strands. That you will begin starting initializing the process. And it's a 22-year process. And that was Dolores Cannon for 2025. Convoluted Universe Part 2, page
Wow.
468. And another one, same book, page 640. This was 2026, and you will like this one as well. There will be a transformation of several colors on your spectrum, which would be very limited to your visible eye. You will be able to see the spectrum to the ultimate color of red within 22 years. It will be a sense of what you will call a you.
Wow.
Page 640, Convoluted Universe, Part 2. Interesting stuff is happening.
There's so much stuff in those books. I know. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I think it's exciting because, for years we have been working towards New Earth and reading the books and making our own journeys with that. But now we're in a physical proof of things. Things are happening that we were told were going to happen. We're getting the proof or the demonstration of all the things that we've been told along the way. At least I feel like I am. The disclosure and all this stuff is happening. Things are happening that we were told were going to happen. And so we're in it now. And I think that's an amazing thing to finally get to that point where we're seeing the things. How many times have we been told certain things are going to happen, and then the day comes and goes, and we're all like, felt like a day, felt like a normal day, nothing happened. But those that are sharing, these, I think for me, the thing that people can do to really kill their reputation when they're saying what's going to happen is to give a date. Like, this is going to happen on this exact date. Because I don't think it works like that. I think it's about
I
energy.
think it's, even listening to other videos and books and reading different books, it's a whole experience. It's a lifetime of experience that you
Yeah.
have to go through to experience the thing. And then you could probably looking back, you could say, well, this portion of my lifetime could have been this, this, and this, but it's the whole process. So, so
Yeah.
even if when we go through all this, it's still the ascension process will still continue on, and it'll be another 100 years on top of that of
Yes.
experiences.
Well, it never stops, really, because
Right.
even when humanity, every last drop gets to the fifth dimension, what's the next phase? You got to go to the sixth and seventh.
Yeah.
It's like we're just going to keep
Right, right.
evolving.
And I think
So,
from a human's point of view, this would probably be the most exciting times is the past 10 years, 20 years, and then the next 10 and 20 years. This would be the most exciting time frame.
yeah, I think so. I think we're in the juice.
That's right. I was about to squeeze it.
That's right. It's about to happen. You're all going to get a good cup of juice
Shoot,
right now.
you know, from for that note from Suzanne Spooner's YouTube video, shoot, knowing that we're not alone in the universe and that aliens do exist and it's confirmed, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think we're there. We're seeing it. We're experiencing it. And, it seems like the information has been disclosed now from our government. We've got our space. What do they call the space program now? The
SpaceX, Space Force.
whatever that is. So we got all these things pointing in that direction, right? So yeah, it would be amazing if we could get some sort of physical proof, like somebody, if they were to come and actually physically show themselves to us. I know that they have come and showed themselves to people who are ready to see that, who are in
Right.
frequency that's not, and it's been said that they don't come right now because they're a collective consciousness, and if the fear were to,
Yeah.
it's like,
Lead over into their
yeah.
collective. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense to me that they wouldn't be here in a physical form right now. But I do think that when people are isolated in a nice little area and are gathering with the right intentions, that you see more, you
Hmm.
see more things. Um, yeah, there's a lot of people that'll tell stories about waking up in the middle of the night, they're in the room, so I know that they've been here mingling with us, but how much are we allowed to remember? And,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of
Did you
that going on
remember
too.
months later? Hey, didn't
Yep.
something happen in my room? Was I visited?
Yeah. My room, all the lights were off and the curtains were closed, but my room was glowing in light. What was that? It's like,
What
well,
happened that one night?
yeah. Did you lose time? No. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, I think, for us to acknowledge that, there's some pretty cool things And we're experiencing a lot of things. When we're open to it, we're going to see more of it. That's the other thing, is there's things happening right in front of us, but because we're not open to it, we're not going to see it. If that makes sense too.
Hmm. Yeah, I really do think that the next few years should be pretty interesting, exciting, if you weren't excited enough,
Right.
you know? So, because if you think about it, out of all the notes I probably gathered, not that I take notes all the time, but I try to write down the interesting ones. I don't, from 2021, it just skips all those other years and it goes straight into 2025, 26, 28, 29, 30. You know, that's where all the interesting things happen.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer.
Yeah. And I think, we're going to see a lot of things in our lifetime. We're going to experience a lot of really positive things and see a lot of the stuff that we're working for. But that being said, just think where we will be in 100 years.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna we'll come back and play in that world. A lot of people are like, I never want to come back, and this is my last incarnation. I'm like, I don't know. I've worked really hard to see the 5D. I think I'd come back if we're in it. I want to come back and experience that.
Nice.
Give me a 5D body, man. I'll come back. But yeah, I think we will change our minds when we leave these bodies and we understand why we're here. It changes a lot of things. So yeah.
Nice. I was trying to see if I had any notes for 100 years from now.
Oh, yeah. It's
2087.
that's when everybody's buzzing around their little spaceship cars and
Kinda, yeah.
or teleporting or doing all the fun things that they've learned how to do.
2087, we will be part of the Galactic Federation. So, but there's a catch. There is a catch to that. It
What's the
sounds fascinating, but the catch, there is a catch.
what's the catch?
Well, the reason why we become part of the Galactic Federation in Dolores Cannon's book, from what I remember, not that it's not going to happen, but one of the reasons why it did happen is because of Nostradamus's future prediction of the catastrophes that's he saw happening on Earth.
Hmm.
So that humanity kind of like destroyed themselves, and a lot of our galactic brothers and sisters came down to save us and help us out, help us recover from this shifting and Earth changes that happen. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's just going to happen differently. It's going to happen better because this is the better
Yeah.
timeline.
This is the better timeline. That is one potential outcome.
Mhm.
Yeah. We hold the power. Put it out there.
As they say, so there is a chance.
Absolutely.
So,
Wonderful.
all right. Well, I know it's getting late on your side. It's 9:42 over here. So,
Yeah, I'm
we're
fading. I don't know how you're still there, but
even
yeah.
though we started early.
Well, we need that. We need that catch up time.
That's
And
right.
so cool to get caught up with everybody out there as well and
Yes, yes,
put
yes.
this together. So
And
yeah.
check out the description. I'll have the link for Tracie's website that will lead you to the session that she's going to have, the healing session, and also the light language group training. So that
Yeah.
sounds pretty cool. And then also you have a link for the QHHT cruise.
For the cruise. Well, it's not a QHHT cruise, so
Oh,
let's
okay, what is it?
yeah.
The reunion?
It's a I'm going to be doing the channeling. We're going to be working on intuitive things. I think Julia might be doing light casting
Okay.
and she'll probably speak a little bit on soul speak as well, her healing of the body. So it's actually nothing to do with QHHT, but Julia
Oh,
is the
okay.
CEO of the QHHT or whatever her title
I
is.
got you.
And
It's
so
not a reunion or anything like that.
nope, not a reunion. This is just us
I
three
got
girls getting together and bringing together people and playing
you.
in the
Okay.
intuitive arts.
But you'll still have a link on your website to it?
The link is on my website
Okay.
and the contact information for Trina, who's actually going to be, you'd need to contact her to get set up just because she's got the information, the direct information with her. So all of that is on my website, and the
Perfect.
prices should be on there as well. The special prices that we get, I think through February, but like I said, if you think you want to go, just go over there and get signed up for it. I think
Yeah, check it out.
so check that out and you can email Trina and get the information and find out what the time frame is. Just because I know she sent me a message on that, and it would probably take me a minute to find it. So that would just be the easier way. But
Absolutely.
yeah. So anyway, that would be so fun to play with you guys on the water out by Iceland and Greenland, and
Yeah, maybe that cruise ship will start to levitate a little bit, start to
that'd
get
be something.
vibration.
Yeah. Let's make that happen. Let's levitate the ship and freak everyone out.
Okay.
But all of that's very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jason, for having me, and
Thank you.
thanks everybody for watching this far and for staying with us and all your support. Thank you.
Exactly. Anytime, anytime. Well, have a good night. Take care.
Take care, everyone.